So guys, here it is. Here's my time machine, and it allows me to go into the future and talk to myself. And this is not a time machine. This is a pop figure of Jon Snow. Where's my time machine? Where's my... Okay, I don't have a time machine. The time machine that I'm talking about, I have right here. And it does allow me to go into the future and talk to my future self. But before I get into that, I want to tell you that your mind is constantly trying to deceive you. Your mind is against you. And although the brain does want you to survive, and you have a survival instinct, and you have an instinct to sleep and survive and eat and do all those things, it does not want you to have long-term success. Hard work is not natural. Doing things that make you uncomfortable is not a natural part. Your brain wants to seek out tasks and actions that are the path of least resistance. It does not want to take on the hard things. Your brain wants you to sleep in. Your brain wants you to hit the snooze button. It does not want you to get out of bed and go to work and make the money you need to make, or put in the hard work that you need to put in to survive and thrive and move forward in your life. It does not want you to do that. Pain is something that we naturally try to avoid. Obviously, pain can be things like a prick on the finger, or you fall and scrape your knee, or whatever. You try to avoid actions that led up to that scenario. But pain is also things like putting in time and putting in commitment and putting in large amounts of effort needed to go after what you're trying to achieve. It's just a different kind of pain. So what I've done is actually wired my brain in a way that helps me create internal motivation so I can do the things that are uncomfortable, that bring achievement in the long run. And I'm not saying I've achieved a lot in my life so far, but I have put myself in a position to where going after my goals and going after my dreams has become a lot easier and a lot more in focus for me. The voice in my head is my future self, and he's done all those things. He's gone through all the hardships. He's gone through what I fear. He's overcome all my fears. He's been through all the hardships that I will ever face, and he tells me that everything I'm doing is worth it. So there have been many studies on motivation and how dopamine correlates strongly to motivation. There have been studies with rats that if you give it a neuroleptic, which is a drug that stunts the dopamine receptors in the brain, it will not seek out things like even food, water, or sexual contact. Dopamine has been found to be critical in situations where there's positive reinforcements. We memorize things that make us happy. We memorize things that will bring us joy and positivity in our life and enhance our overall life. So we are positively reinforced by the behaviors that got us to that point, and that can be really, really dangerous. We see it with drug addiction, we see it with even social media addiction or porn addiction. Our mind is constantly working against us and seeking out dopamine. It wants the short-term gratification. It wants to be happy. And you have to train your brain to see long-term so you can do the things you don't enjoy in order to get what you want in the long run. You may have already trained your brain to a certain extent to make you behave in certain ways, take certain actions, or do certain things that you wouldn't normally do unless you kind of figured out that what you're doing is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. If you've ever went to the gym, then you might understand what I'm talking about. For most people, running miles a day and losing weight is a hard thing to do. And if you've ever sacrificed and done that, you're thinking about a long-term purpose. You're actually thinking about a time machine of sorts in your mind So there's this book out there by Dweck, and it's called The New Psychology of Success. And one of the good things that I like that she breaks it down to, she's a psychologist, she breaks it down to there being really two mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And you can look those up, but really the fixed mindset is not a master of their circumstances. They're really a victim of their circumstances. They don't go after things that they think are their weaknesses. They don't try to improve because they think that everything that they're born with is what they have, and kind of fate leads their life. They don't really reach outside of their comfort zone very often. The growth mindset is a mindset that you need to develop. Really what it boils down to is that you can have what you want in life, and your potential is limitless. You make your potential. Potential really is limitless. You reach your potential, what you thought your potential was, and then you keep surpassing it, and your potential keeps growing. It never stops. You keep getting better in life. You keep improving, and ultimately what it leads to is success. And whatever success means for you, that's what it leads to. It doesn't have to be money, although it can be. It doesn't have to be some sort of superficial or materialistic thing. It could simply be happiness. Success to you could be happiness. However, for you to maximize that ultimate happiness, you have to have a certain mindset. You have to have a growth mindset. You cannot let life win the battle. You cannot let your brain trick you into living the comfortable life that doesn't lead you to your ultimate goals and dreams. It doesn't lead you to that success that you have defined for yourself. It leads you to a place where you are very comfortable and cozy in the short run, but you always have that nagging feeling that you have a sense of underachievement and desire for something more. There's this great book that will shatter every excuse you can possibly think of. The book's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and if you end up reading that book or learning about David Goggins, you are going to understand that you have no excuses anymore. There is no excuse that you can think of at all. And I realized that having a good mindset does not cure physical limitations. It doesn't cure diseases. It doesn't make you something that you're not, but it does let you get over these perceived limitations that we all have. So really, guys, I just wanted to maybe give you a little bit something to think about, and to maybe encourage you to stop making excuses for your life, to stop trying to play the victim, to get out of your comfort zone and embrace discomfort, because again, that is really what's going to bring you further and make you uncommon in life. The only limiting factor that you potentially will ever have is going to be in your head. So I hope that this video maybe encouraged you, or you maybe learned something or added some type of value to your life. If it did, please leave a like and please subscribe. But that's all I have for today, and go get after your dreams and have an awesome life.